Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiki La Fleur, and today I have this look for you along with tips and techniques for you to apply to your own makeup routine. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe. Other than that, keep watching. Okay guys, so I'm gonna prep my skin a little bit. I did put my moisturizer on, but I feel like I just need a little bit more love right now. I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue, and I'm just gonna go in. Like, it's been a week, you guys. It's been a week. I'm using my Sephora concealer brush. I truly see the difference when I apply eye cream when it comes to my makeup, so it has become a staple, a must for me, especially if you're annoyed like me when it comes to creasing. So I have this Touch in Sol Icy Sorbet primer, and I wanted to try it out. It's Pretty Filter Icy Sorbet. It's a silicone free primer that smooths the skin texture. It gives you a silky and fine-tuned finish. Fresh sorbet-like texture smoothly glides with rich hydration and an instant cool down effect. Interesting. So oh, it's pretty. I like the packaging. It's pink. I think it's my favorite color is pink, so it's like, if it's pink, I'm gonna like it regardless. But no, this is pretty. Oh, and this is pink. Ah, that's so cool. Gonna use my hand to apply this and try to blend it in. If it does, it's definitely cooling. Oh, that's nice. It's not too cold. I don't like cold. So I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this, but it's not freezing cold, of course, but it's definitely giving a cooling effect. So in the summertime, this is nice. In the wintertime, in New York City, not so much. Especially if the house is cold. It's like, I don't want anything cold touching me, but it feels nice when it goes on. What's important to me is how it wears with the makeup. That's what's super important to me. So, and I'm in a search for some really good primers. I already found one, which is, well, I found one, but I want to test it out with other foundations and things like that, just to make sure it was the primer that was helping to make things stay. Other than that, it just may have been the foundation and the concealer, you know what I mean? So before I like make it a staple and say like, this primer doesn't make your makeup, this primer helps your makeup not to budge, I'm not gonna say that too soon. I'm gonna keep testing these things out. So that went on nicely. I'm gonna go in and, starting with my brows, I'm gonna go in with this Collab brow pencil. This shade is in ash brown. My brows have already been tinted, but this ash brown is going to cool it off, and I like to use ash brown pencils just to really give me a nice softer look when it comes to having my brows a bit too dark in shade, as well as using ash colors to shape my brows so that the intensity is not too dark, especially if I make a mistake. First of all, I've been sleeping on drugstore brands for a very long time, and that's partially because of the fact that when you don't have luxury in your collection, you feel like the only thing you can afford is drugstore. So by the time you start making money and you only want to buy luxury, you kind of put a side eye towards drugstore, and I did that for a long time, and I've been missing out. I'm telling you, I've been missing out. But now my whole mindset have changed because I got it out of my system. That's the other thing. Sometimes people just gotta get things out of their system. I got it out of my system. I bought as many luxury cosmetics that I wanted, and now I'm over it in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got it out of my system, and now I just want to try everything. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss on opportunities because I have a perspective that is blocking me from success. That's right. Exactly. You know what I mean. So I love this. And I like to use this just to really sharpen the brow, and it helps to clean up any messes. And then I will apply it all over the lid. So easy. So easy. I'm going to use that same concealer brush. I'm also going to apply this on the top, wherever is left on the brush. I'm not adding more because I don't like that white harsh line on top of the brow. So this is going to be a really soft cleanup, so that it's a soft, clean shadow. Look at that. Like, there's more here, but I swear it's all about technique, you guys. It's all about technique. So now that I have that on, I like to take my beauty blender and just pick up any excess. It also is going to help to blend in the concealer even more. But really, pick up the excess, like, please. No creasing, no greasing. Next, I'm going in with my Makeup Forever Flash Card Case. I'm going to mix the brown and the gold shade for my lid color, which is going to help me to add like a light sheen to the lid. I'm going to be using my MAC 226 brush. With a smaller pencil brush, I'm going to use the MAC 210 to put that on the lower lash line as well. Next, I'm going in with the NARS Loaded palette. I'm going to use this shade brown here. It's a nice warm nudish brown. This is a matte shade. I'm going to use my MAC 227 brush, a nice fluffy brush to go on the edges of this crease. With a clean 221 brush by MAC, I'm going to now go in with this matte shade here, this cream color. I'm going to place that on top of the color I just used. As well as the inner crease. That way it helps to remove any harsh edges. And it just softens up the crease area some more. I'm going to go back into that same brush. That's why it's so important to not contaminate your brushes. That way you can go back into it and it still will have the same color. So I'm going to go back into this shade right here, just a little bit to add into the crease, just to deepen it some more. I'm going to go back and forth with these two brushes, especially the inner corner as well. With a Sephora Professional Smudge Brush, I'm going to go in with this color here onto the bottom lash line. For the rest of my lid, I'm going in with this matte shade here. This is Ground Brown by MAC. And I'm going to use a shaded brush by Sigma, just to pack this color onto the center of the lid. I'm going to blend it up and out. I'm going in next with Lovecraft Beauty Smudge Brush. And I'm going to place that same color onto the bottom lash. With a pencil brush by Sigma, I'm going in with this matte chocolate shade right here. And then placing this on the outer crease of the eye, top and lower lash line. And whatever is left on the brush, I'm going to go on the inner corner. And just add a little bit of depth. Next, I'm going in with this pretty metallic pigment by MAC. This is in shade Ground Brown. Gonna pack my 213 shading brush by MAC, and I'm placing this onto the center of the lid. I'm just gonna increase the depth and intensity. This color is so pretty. I'm gonna apply another shade right on top, focusing on the center to increase the intensity. This is such a pretty holiday color, where it's in your face, but it's not too much. It's not too, like, if you don't want glitter, go with pigments, metallic pigments, just to really add a bit more life to your look. Next, I'm going in with this green liner that I got from Amazon, Kiki La, something generic. Anyway, I'm gonna place this onto the waterline. Okay, so I'm switching these pencils out because that one was not working for the waterline. It works in general because I wiped it on my hand. I know that it works, but for the waterline, you really need a really soft, cold pencil. So I decided to go in with this MAC pencil. This is Float by 𝗙𝗎𝗄𝗪, and it's so soft, so gentle for the waterline and it's also super pigmented. Perfect. My eye started to water as much as I was trying to rub that other pencil in. I'm like, no, I can't. And lately my eye has been watering a lot lately, and I know why. I don't have my humidifier on. I feel like it's dry eye because when I have the humidifier on, it just works. It works. Like, even when I'm stuffed up, I have the humidifier on, it goes away. If I'm sneezing, my allergies come up, I put the humidifier on. And I've realized now that when it comes to applying my makeup, I have to put my humidifier on. And it's not on right now, so I'm gonna do that and then continue. Okay, so I am actually gonna use this color because I blended it mostly down, so there's gonna be a gradation, but it's gonna be painful. As much as I didn't want to, you can see that the color has some type of pigmentation. So by the time I put this on, it's a level of depth that I can't duplicate by this alone. When I tell you that the humidifier makes such a difference, you guys, if your eyes are watering, trust me, get a humidifier. Game changer. I'm so happy because I was finally able to, one, finish this tube of foundation from IT Cosmetics. This is the CC Illumination SPF 50 foundation that I love, as you can see. But I'm happy because I was able to get 2 more. They were on sale, so I was like, oh yes. I prefer the bigger tube, but because I got 2, you know. And the reason why I got 2 is because this is shade Rich. This is shade Rich, which is my winter color. But as much as I love this foundation, and as many times I've worn it in the summertime, it's too pale. It's too pale, unfortunately, but I love the formula. So I got me Rich Honey, this shade for my summer. Let me show you. really very indifferent, of course, and I'm just so excited because I just love It Cosmetics, as well as the brush that it comes with, which is this dual end brush here. I can't say enough about It Cosmetics. Like, I trust the brand so much. I trust the co-founder CEO. She's so kind too. Like, not that I met her in person, but watching her on QVC, yes, I believe it's QVC, she just has such a warm and bubbly personality that just seems so genuine when she speaks. I can't help but want to buy something from her. Like, and the way she demonstrates it, because her skin is really, really red underneath, but when she applies the foundation, boom, it goes away. I was like, oh yeah, I need that. And I needed it mostly because my skin was acne prone, so I had a lot of marks on my cheeks and my forehead. And okay, so acne prone skin and discoloration I was dealing with. But all that has changed, obviously, because my skin is doing so much better. Thank the gods, okay? So I'm going in with Shade Rich. I'm gonna warm this on my hand. And you really don't need a lot of product when it comes to this, because it's just, it's a full coverage foundation, but when I tell you, it just looks beautiful on the skin. It looks like skin. That illumination in the product, really, like, you can see it. You can't see it, like, you know, it's not huge, it's not chunky, but when I look closely into the mirror, I can see it, and I love it because it just gives me a glow. Going in next with Charlotte's Tilbury, this is Pink Gasm. This is the Beauty Light Wand blush. Just gonna use my Wing Me angle brush to blend this out. Now I'm going in with Kat Von D's concealer. This is a full coverage concealer in the shade Tan. This is the concealer that I mentioned earlier that I said did not budge. So I'm trying it with this primer and seeing if it's just a concealer that doesn't budge, because I feel like this one really doesn't move. I'm using my Real Techniques concealer brush. Touch Lumiere Santi concealer brush by Sephora, just to brighten up the inner corners and highlight even further the areas that I really want to stand out with the most. Just to add a little bit more brightness. And I'm really concentrating that color where I placed it. I'm not dragging it out too much. I really want the brightness to really be in the center of the face. And these points, I'm just tapping it. just dabbing it and it will blend itself out. Again, I don't want to spread it out too far. For the contour, I'm going to use my Shape Tape Mahogany concealer. I'm staying really close to my hairline. I'm just gonna blend that into the hairline and blend this up into the blush. And if I feel like I need a bit more concealer to kind of balance this out, I'm just gonna go back and forth with it just so that it's not too much, as well as the blush, the cream blush. That's why I didn't powder my face yet, because I get to blend all these colors together. So whatever is left on the side, so that there's not a lot of color being concentrated in this area, I'm going to the side and the top of the chin, just to add depth and shadow. And then I'm gonna go over that concealer with this brush, being that it has a bit more contour on here, to tone it down in this area. So I'm really packing in the color first, and then once I feel like it's distributed into the brush properly, then I'm going to go into my hairline and brush into it and brush up on that side into the blush. Going to take this angle brush in that same concealer, but this time I'm going to warm it onto my hand, and I'm going to pick up the smallest amount. First I'm going to start into my brows. I'm just tapping it on because I do not want to disturb, as much as I possibly can, the brows, even though I feel like I always do, no matter what, how hard I try not to. And once I have it where I want it, I'm just sliding and scraping down, not hard, gently, and there's very little product on this brush, down the side of my nose, and I'm going into a slight point where this shadow of my nose is. Now I'm going on the indent of my nose, just gonna curve into that. I want it to be a circle, as well as the side of my nose. And I like to brush up. Now this line is harsh. I don't want a harsh contour, so I'm going to take a small shaded smudgy brush. This is a 332 by Real Techniques, and I'm just going to blend in that contour, soften up these lines. And it doesn't really take too much effort. I'm not putting in too much effort. I don't want to move the makeup on the bottom, so I'm just lightly touching and dabbing and even dragging, but very lightly to blend out the edges. Just so that it becomes softer. Now, it's okay if it doesn't get soft to you in your eye, like you really just want it to be a shadow. What I like to do is take my concealer brush and I just dab it, and sometimes that really helps to just lighten it up even further. Now this is the first step, because I am going to go back and deepen this, but I really just want it to be a shadow, a very soft shadow. Next, I'm going in with this Laura Mercier's foundation. This is the Baked and Balanced foundation in shade medium. I'm going to place this for the highlight of the inner corner of my eye. And I'm using a Real Techniques 204 brush. And being that this foundation has that brown marble effect, brown and gold marble effect, it's going to help. It's actually not going to be too ashy on my skin. So I love that for this section, as well as the forehead. Because sometimes you can add a highlight that may be too ashy, and I really didn't want that for this look. Sometimes it's okay, but not for this look. Just put a little bit on the chin. Very lightly going down the bridge of the nose so I can stay within that highlight, as well as the tip of the nose. With the same brush, I'm going in with Huda's Beauty Kunafa setting powder, and I'm placing this where the rest of the highlight is. I'm going in with the same brush. This is going to add some warmth to the face, but it's also going to be that gradation shade for that contour and that brighter highlight that's in the center. I also like placing this onto my jaw to add a bit more highlight without being too pale. With my Anastasia contour powder kit, I'm going in with this brown shade here with my Bare Minerals angle brush, and I'm dabbing this onto the contour areas. Forgot to add some of this onto my lip. Just blending that into the top and bottom. This is gonna add depth, make my lips look bigger by giving it a nice shadow. It's like a lip liner already. Some of that powder just to set it in place. With my concealer brush to just blend it out a little bit more, just to soften it up. For my blush, I'm going to set this cream with, this is a drugstore brand blush. I don't think they make it anymore, Ultimate Beauty. But I love this shade so much that I bought two. So I'm going through it, you guys. This shade is Barely Peach. I'm going to use my MAC 128 blush brush. Just going to pack that on and just dab that color. I don't mind my blush being a little bit more pigmented because I feel like it's always the first one to go. Next, I'm going in with Cashew. This is a Fenty powder. It's more of my neutral tone. It's literally almost done, but I'm gonna bang out as much as I can from here. I'm gonna use a puff to apply this all over the face. I am officially done, you guys. I'm so proud of myself. I love when I hit pan, but then I hate it because then I gotta go buy another one. Because it's like, why don't you have a backup? Why don't you have a backup? I don't know, like me and shopping lately, I don't know, is it just me? But I feel like the more wise I get, the things that used to entertain me, i.e. shopping, you wouldn't ever think you'll get tired of shopping, but I do. Like, I don't got time for any of that. I love shopping online though, sometimes. Not all the time, but if I prefer one or the other, it's definitely shopping online. It's like, oh, it will come to me. Like, oh, it'll just be in the mail. I can just go pick it up. Like, I don't, like, my priorities are so different now. But, and even makeup, like, it's crazy because I would, now I walk by Sephora and I'm like, I have so much makeup, you guys, that I'm just like, until I feel like it's necessary to go and buy the products, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna use everything I got because I feel like I got, if not backups upon backup upon backups of the same shades. So unless I'm reviewing it for you guys, it's not necessary. I really can recreate whatever I want with everything that I got. So now that that is on, I'm actually want to use this really nice tapered fluffy brush. I'm going in with this Laura Geller Blush and Brighten highlight blush in the shade Sunset. It's so pretty, and because it's a mineralized blush, it's really just going to go on and enhance the skin without being too glittery and giving me that high shine. It's just it just adds a glow. Even though it's high shine, I'm gonna mute it down, but I just wanted to show you that, like, it just looks like my skin is dewy, baby. It's just, I love mineralized blush, but I am gonna tone it down just a little bit, and I like to use the blush brush just to dab in it. I feel like with mineralized blush, the more you mess with it, the more the shade tones itself down. I'm also placing this on the center of the nose as well as the nose bridge. Just, and I'm gonna pack it on and blend it up and out. For my nose, I don't feel like I will ever hit pan with this. I only use this for my nose, you guys. This is the Fenty Beauty's Caramel Cutie bronzer. I'm going to use a generic angle brush that I just love. Like this is like my staple, period. So going back into the nose contour, and I'm using this to sharpen the line. I'm still using a light hand. I do start into the brows, below the brows as well, to really add a little bit of depth right there. And then I gradually try to create a line. Just taking that blush brush and just dabbing the nose and softening up that line. It's not soft enough for me, so I'm gonna wipe off that angle brush and I'm just gonna go over it. I want to see the line, but I don't want to see it this much. And because it's hardly anything on a brush, I can really just do what I need to without worry. Next, I'm going in with this Dual Eye Brightener by Smashbox. This one has a more golden shade to it, while the other side is a bit cooler and pinkier, if that makes sense. It has a more cool tone to it. I'm going in with the golden end for the inner parts of the eye. And I'm just gonna brighten this area up. It's gonna be subtle. And that's why I like to run to these, because it really does give you a subtle highlight. Especially for a soft eye look, this is definitely my go-to as well. So being that I have powder on, I'm just dabbing this pencil in the area that I want it, so that I don't move too many things around, especially with that powder. Okay, so for my lashes, I decided to go in with something that's a little bit more tapered and flared out. I'm using these lashes that has a nice taper on the inner corner where I can still be able to see my eye makeup shine through. I'm gonna apply my lashes and I'll be back. Next, I'm going in with a lip pencil by Huda Beauty, but the name obviously is not on the right end. Like, for example, MAC knows to put their name of their lip liners on the back so that as you're sharpening down, you don't erase the name. But obviously that was not thought through for Huda Beauty. So I don't know what shade this is, but it's definitely more of a nude lip liner that is drying out. So frustrating. Like, I got MAC pencils that I swear they last the test of time. So that tip broke off, but I do not like being wasteful. I actually put the tip onto my pen. I'm just going to use a detail brush to fill in my lip. So I didn't plan on applying that, which was painful to actually do because it was so dried out, but I didn't want to be wasteful, so I just applied the lip pencil all over the lip. And now I'm just going to take this darker shade. This is I don't know the name, but it's a darker brown, slightly bit more reddish tone to it. Just gonna take that same lip pencil and just blend. Actually, it's so dry. It's so dry, I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm gonna take this Laura Mercier's lipstick. This is Sun Drenched. I'm just gonna apply that over the lid just to add some damn moisture. Just gonna go over that lip line and just soften it. I don't want to see it too much. Next, I'm going in with MAC's Lip Jelly. This is in shade Clear Color. I'm just gonna use a lip brush to add some highlight to this lip, starting at the Cupid's bow. Next, I'm going in with my Set and Prep setting spray by Sophia and Mabel. I love setting sprays, but sometimes I feel like it adds way too much shine to the face, even though it makes it look like skin. I love that, it's great, but in certain areas I really just don't want it to be too highlighted. So with that, I like to go in with a transparent setting powder. This is the RCMA Original No Color Powder, and I'm going to use an Ace Beauty Dome brush to lightly pack on powder on this brush, and I'm just going to gently go underneath the eye and just mattify that area. I don't mind my cheekbones having highlight, but when it comes to the under eye area, I don't really want to draw a lot of attention there. And I'm squeezing the brush to get underneath there so I don't get on my lashes and so on. Also, I don't want to cover up that highlight. And wherever is left, I'm going on the center of the forehead because I don't really want the center of my forehead to be super shiny for this look. Sometimes I'm okay with it, but not today. And the chin. Around the nose. Just pretty much the center of the face I want to be more matte. Okay, so that is it for this look, you guys. I am so happy you stayed with me to the end, but I am curious if there's a color combination that you would like to see. Put it down in the comments below and let me know. Other than that, please like, thumbs up, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye, beauties.